Welcome back to the Bobby Dupre Show, the second half, and of course my sidekick, Andrew.
Well, good morning. Both half hours today.
Yeah, yes, sir. Both. You get paid the whole day today.
Well, how about this? I'm going to cut in on you. Okay. Happy Easter to everybody. This Sunday's Easter.
Mustn't forget. Right.
Holy Thursday, most churches around will have a service on Holy Thursday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. On Good Friday, most churches will have a service. I know the morning of Good Friday, St. Landry's even having a Way of the Cross that the children put on. And then Vigil Mass Saturday evening, most churches have like an 8 p.m. Sunday evening Mass. And Sunday morning, all throughout every church. Matter of fact, Miss Fawny Futrell's church meets what, about 7 or 7:30?
I have
put the pressure on you.
I have that.
At the Tesh, the park at the beginning of the Tesh there in the middle of Port Barre. Bring your own lawn chair out to the site.
Yes.
How's that grab you?
Yes.
You're looking. You got it.
I've had this since I started the radio program at 7 a.m. in Port Barre, and Sunday, April the 8th. And this is something that Miss Futrell works hard to get a nice attendance. And so please, if you live in that area, it's a good way to start your Easter Sunday and meet with your friends and talk to Jesus.
And 5 p.m. on Good Friday, if you want to meet across the street from the McDonald's in Port Barre, Reverend Bobby Gradney is going to have a walk with the cross down Saison Street, starting at the old, because it's the old Dupre Carrier Gotcha building that was right there at that corner. It was at Texaco years ago, right at the corner of Saison and 190.
Great. And what about basketball, boy? I'll tell you what, Monday night, the men's Final Four, held in New Orleans, Louisiana, we might add.
Kentucky and Kansas,
and filled the Superdome. I thought it was going to be held in the arena.
Me too.
There was no way.
I turned it on, I was like, look at the people.
And you saw how beautiful that floor was? Well, Sunday night, saw it from the time they cut the trees to make that.
They had a show that they showed how they did all
it. And it just happened that that they showed it, and it was that particular floor.
No kidding.
They make several hundreds each year. This company, it's one company that specializes in that. It sounds like they do all the big ones. And they showed it from the time they cut the maple trees on Indian Reservation. Then they come to this little bitty town of about 300 people. At one time they had over 1,000, but it's shrinking. But there's still one big employer that hires people from within about a 30-mile radius of that particular little town. Connors is the name of the company. And they showed you from they cut it and planed it and put it all together. Then they take it all apart. Then they send it to get painted. Then they put it all back together. And we were watching it being made, and it was the same one that they moved to New Orleans and put it inside the Superdome. And it was up about 18 to 24 inches above the floor. Because if you notice, and I didn't realize at first,
they can fall off the edge.
They'd all go sit down, and they were sitting low watching the game. And beautiful process. And they use one company to haul it because it's so specialized. And then they show like all the welding that had to be done for the flooring. The
brackets and all that connected to it.
And it was all in pieces, and it all came together just a few hours prior to the use of it about the weekend before.
When I lived in Baton Rouge and they bought that first wooden floor to put in the Assembly Center at LSU, that thing would stay loose, and when they put that last square in for that floor, that thing would get tight like a guitar string. All of a sudden, man, when that last piece would go, all that thing would lock up nice and snug.
That was really very, very interesting. Anyhow, as it turned out, Kentucky, who had been ranked number 1 all year long, won the game, but it got down.
And they showed why.
It got down to within 5 points game, and then they started and they won by, I think, only 8 points. You say only. At one time, they were maybe like 15, 18 points ahead.
I don't think the game was
Kansas No.
they're a good team, but
Yeah.
I think Kentucky, when they had to turn it on, they were like War
Like
Admiral.
the light switch.
Yeah, they were like War Admiral and what's our horse that won against War Admiral?
Oh, not
I'm looking at the horse. Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit.
When
Yep.
Seabiscuit would see
was a
that other
good
horse,
show.
when Seabiscuit see that other horse, that's what Kentucky did. When Kentucky looked at that other horse, did good.
And then, of course, the following night, Tuesday night, the girls, and of course Baylor was favored. They went 40-0. First time that any team ever went 40-0. There were 6 or 7 other teams that went 39-0, but this was the first team to go 40-0. And at one point, they got ahead 25 points ahead.
They got that big girl in the middle, 6'8".
Yeah.
And she's as talented as a point guard, but she's got the size to go with it. So it's fascinating to watch her.
Yeah.
And she's coming back for another year.
Yeah, and the coach, it's a little story about her. They were wondering whether she could even be at the game about 2 weeks ago.
She's got some sort of palsy that she's come down with. They thought it was a stroke at first, and it wants to make it look like she's got a stroke on one side of her face, but they're treating her, and they say it's going to go away.
That picture
Bell's
right
palsy,
here
I think is what it's called.
shows that left eye. Maybe I had palsy in my
You may
left eye.
have had it. I mean, it's possible, you know. And so anyway, they're going to treat her with this thing, and she'll be back. They say in a month or two, everything will be fine.
But it was fun. It was a good game to watch.
She was a great player when she played. It was fun to watch.
That's correct. And played Louisiana Tech.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
Played right here in Louisiana, and she's been part of 3 events that she's the first one. And I don't know. I know the two. One is a player,
and one is a coach.
One is a coach.
And I guess the other would be assistant coach. It might be a gold medal too at the Olympics. I think they won the gold medal. Yeah, they definitely won the gold medal in the Olympics at her time. So that. I mean, she's done it all.
Yeah, she's done the only coach to do this in the ladies. I'm not sure.
The only thing she wouldn't have done would have been WNBA because they hadn't invented it yet. And if that had been invented, she'd have won that too because she was that good.
So anyhow, and then of course, Tiger Woods won the last tournament he played in.
Coming back.
And he's going next weekend, I guess it is. Next week will be the beginning of
the Masters.
Or is that May? Anyhow, soon, won't be long. They're already talking about the Masters, and he is already the crowd favorite. I don't know if he's going to be rated number 1 to win, but he's got 4 of those green jackets already, and one of the times he won it, Bobby Dupre and Bobby Douillon were there in person watching it.
Yep.
And so anyhow, any other sports you want to touch on right now?
The spring game, I heard at LSU and UL, both teams look very good. So
Yep,
I think
both
we're
are
gonna be in good
excited.
shape.
Both had their spring final last Saturday, and both had good crowds. LSU did something maybe a little bit different this year.
They threw the ball.
Yeah, and it was a free admission and a lot of freebies given out.
30,000 people attended.
Yep, a big, one of the biggest crowds they've ever had, and they worked at it, and they needed to get over that BCS game.
Get that hangover finished with. Get moving.
Get the hangover over with.
How about some sponsors?
that?
Dixie Storage, all your storage
Ooh,
needs.
yeah, let's not
We got to
forget.
take care of our people. All your storage needs with locations in Port Barre, Washington, and Opelousas. They can handle you for everything from the railroad spur access to some huge loads, little bitty things. If you're just trying to put a handful of things over in a storage building, that's the place to go. If you got your RV that you want to plug into the wall, if you got your boat you want to store, they can do that too. They also do inventory control for you at their various locations. They've got the Dixie Storage Reception Hall and the old bingo parlor there on Highway 190 in Port Barre with a full kitchen, plenty of parking space, and they can accommodate up to 300 people for any event you have. Call Dixie Storage. Don't forget about their sister company, A Plus Glass, with locations in Opelousas and in Lafayette to do commercial and personal glass and inspections. And how about Piggly Wiggly? Man, it's Easter weekend. Go buy the pig, get your bonus ham, $4.88, get your pork steaks, family pack, $1.49 a pound, and the beef roast, top round or London broil, $2.69. That is your certified Angus beef. Remember, the pig knows best with locations in Opelousas, Church Point, Rain, Scott, Cecilia, St. Martinville, and
Why don't you
Shimport.
get our big Chevron Plaza.
I can do that too. The Quarters Casino,
Quarters Casino.
and Travel Plaza. Go down to Quarters Casino right there between Opelousas and Washington on I-49 exit 23. They've got Chevron fuel. They've got crispy, crunchy chicken inside the 24-hour-a-day convenience store. They've got the Pico de Gallo Mexican restaurant with authentic Tex-Mex cuisine in there, and you get 2-for-1 margaritas, happy hour all the time when you order a meal. And of course, they got gaming there. You can do all the gaming you want at the Quarters.
Stopped in at the Quarters last Saturday for diesel fuel, and went in to put my card up for the charges. And a nice young lady was very, very friendly. And I had to tell her that my little statement that I make to all these young people, keep that smile and you'll always be able to make a nice living. And she said, "You mean that, Mr. Bobby?" And I started smiling. I said, "You know who I am?" She said, "Oh, yeah." She said, "You know my daddy real well, Mike Thibodeau." I said, "Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And your mama too. Eula." She said, "Well, yeah, you know them both." I said, "Sure do." And I said, "I'm sure you've heard that same statement." She says, "I have." And so it's contagious. And she commented that some of the people that she's been, at different jobs, her name, by the way, is Michelle. Michael, but it's Michelle. And she says, "You're right, Mr. Bobby." She says, "There are some people that have a hard time dealing with the public." And so keep that in mind. And that carries over to your friends or your family at home.
Look how good Bobby's done since I drew him out of his shell. It's quite easy.
Yeah. So anyhow, good place to buy your fuel. And also on Monday night, CBS 6 p.m. news, there was a huge welcome home gathering for Vietnam veterans. And this took place last Saturday at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in North Carolina. 60,000 people finally showed up.
There was one in Lafayette as well this past weekend as well. So they try to evidently do it all around the country to kind of promote.
I've commented several times in the past year, there's so many more veteran affairs that are occurring to honor the veterans of all the wars, but the Vietnam veterans, there was also a gentleman that was interviewed, and he spoke about how the anti-war demonstrations were taking place at the same time. That was the type of welcome he got, and it wasn't very good. And I put a little, when they returned from the war, and I said, "Boo," and it's a shame that that was taking place. Then on the other hand, with enough of unrest, and my good friend Ali,
it helped to bring the troops home.
Yeah. It took some big, strong people to say that we're not winning this war. We've lost enough people. We've crippled enough people. We've messed them up in the head with this Agent Orange and all the other things that were going on. And enough people stood up and got them home. Yeah. So it was bad the way they were treated. It was a bad war. It was a bad war.
All right, we got Stallion's Restaurant has the Acadiana Karaoke every week, and this Wednesday at 6 p.m. come by and compete. Now, it's not a contest to see who's going to win a prize or anything. They just have open karaoke nights. If you want to go and you want to try to show off your musical skills, go to Stallion's Restaurant this Wednesday at 6 p.m. And that will actually film it. KDCG is going to film it, and the following Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. It'll air here on television. And it's this Wednesday at 6 p.m. You can go by. KSLO will see another side of 3.
Another big sporting event that will be taking place, we need to talk about, is the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And that's generally held the first weekend, first Saturday of May each year. And right here in New Orleans at the fairgrounds this past Sunday, the Louisiana Derby was held. And I think 109 to 1 shot won the race. Hero of Order paid $220, and it's really a heck of a story. The owner is also the